Hello and welcome back to How to Defeat Space ISIS and Make It Home in Time for Dinner. I'm Corey Kohler. I'm joined by Josh Whitaker, as usual. And he looks like he's getting ready for Space Force.
If they'll have me.
It's too bad your kidneys failed. That's still a requirement, right?
I don't know anymore.
No, bone spurs can do it. I mean, anything can do it, I guess. So
Moonraker!
Yeah. Moonraker.
Corey hates this movie.
I don't hate it.
I like it more than most breathing humans. However...
This is your favorite one. You don't shut up about it. This guy.
No. I liked it less this time around, and I'm starting to hate you even more.
Really?
But I think the biggest problem was that we watched this right after The Spy Who Loved Me, which I don't think is fair. Because if you watch it after, like, 8 other movies in the series, I think it looks, like, cool.
But this is the release order of the movies, so...
Well, it's the release order that you chose.
Whose fault is that, Eon Productions?
Yeah.
Barbara Broccoli.
You thought they hated Kathleen Kennedy.
I know. Get ready.
So what did you think overall?
This is Saturday morning cartoon to the max this time. You can tell, because this claim came out around the time of Star Wars, and it was at the end credits of Spy Who Loved Me. They wanted to do For Your Eyes Only next, but they changed their mind. They're like, oh, this is hot, this is new. James Bond in space. I mean, come on. Once they got to lasers, I was like, I'm done. Mind shut off. We have talked about this before, and I do agree with you. I think if this plot was taken seriously, there could be something interesting there. I think, and we're going to talk about the villain, but I think the plot is unlike anything you've seen in any of the other James Bonds. And because of that, there is a likability.
Yeah. I think despite all the silliness, this could have been one of the darkest films. It's like some Hitler shit.
The tone flip-flops.
Yes. A lot. And I don't even mind so much that it's such a rip-off of The Spy Who Loved Me, because I like that movie, and I would much prefer that to like a rip-off of,
what's a weird
Diamonds Are Forever.
A rip-off of Toy Story. Yeah, it's
no,
weird.
Why would you want that? No, but you know what I mean. Like, it's, it's the same movie in a lot of ways, but I like that movie, so that's okay. Yeah. It's member berries. It's like Force Awakens.
Yeah.
We all love that movie, but it's the same freaking movie.
Still.
But yeah, no, aside from Man with a Golden Gun, I think I look back now at this as such a missed opportunity and one of the bigger disappointments.
Many missed opportunities in this one.
Because, Because
there's underneath, there's something good.
Yeah, like, I love when the dogs are chasing that woman in, like, slow-mo and they hear about her to shreds. And
that's really dark.
That music is like, oh my god.
Like, you're legitimately frightened. Like, it does make Drax a little bit more of an imposing villain.
Yeah.
But then we just go to silly fun time stuff.
And I like, too, when, like, Bond, like, kills the scientist by mistake. And I thought about this later, like, maybe they're evil scientists, but maybe they're just they don't know what they're making. And he kills him, and they're sitting there gasping for air, and he's like, oops.
Whoopsie!
Like, that could have been something that, like, really weighed on his conscience, and, because he doesn't like to kill people in cold blood, much less innocent people, so.
He'd rather kill someone who's facing off with him with a gun.
Yeah, so,
But then again, he can get away with it. It's his license.
But yeah, so Drax, I think he's, like, a better version of Stromberg, actually.
Yes.
Even though he's, like, playing classical music, and he's, like, the upper crust elitist, and...
As a villain, I think he's a little bit more memorable because of the look, his getup, his design from the art department. But other than that...
Well, he's got, like, a lot of good lines. Like, he's like, you persist in... I forget the line, but... depriving me of the opportunity to give you an amusing death.
He's an eloquent Donald Trump.
Let's leave him out of this. Like, I love when they try and kill him in the pheasant hunt. He's like, you missed, Mr. Bond. And then he He's all like,
Did I? Shut that. Bond quirkiness, always good.
and I love too when they come into the lab with the Close Encounters password. Oh. Which I kind of get. I mean, that was a popular movie. That might be my password too if I lived back then.
I guess.
But I love when they come in with gas masks and he's like so droll. Like, you'll forgive me, fellas. I don't quite understand. Sometimes I find your British humor hard to follow. It's just like,
It's tiring.
Yeah. But Drax is a badass, and you know, Jaws is in it, but he's physically threatening. But he's Bugs Bunny now.
And that's the missed opportunity. That's like if we took Oddjob and took him in the next movie and made
And had him throw a shoe.
Right, like it suddenly makes that character less imposing, less of a threat. And when Jaws is played in this, like you said, he's jokes. And it's just irritating. Like, I want to like that he's imposing. It's the same way with droids in Star Wars. It's like the droids can be imposing, but they talk and they're inept. And now I don't care.
Yeah, like I had the thought, like, I love Jaws as a character, but I'm almost like, this movie, what if we just got rid of him completely?
Yeah.
And like all the scenes of him hunting Bond down could just be different henchmen that die.
Yeah.
But I think there's a way they could rework it and still have Jaws in it and not have it so ridiculous. But let's talk about some of the silliness.
Oh, shall we?
All right, so the movie starts out great with this fantastic, skydiving scene. And then Jaws falls into a circus tent. We get the circus music, and it's like, like, in The Spy Who Loved Me, he always escapes death. But it's, like, believable for, like, a strong dude who can rip sharks in half and swim. And, like, the craziest thing he does in that movie, I think, is, like, he swims away while the base blows up.
That's believable.
In Moonraker, he falls into a tent off of an airplane. He falls off of a waterfall. He presumably makes it from the burning space station and lands on Earth. And
somehow
Roger Moore suggests that he's alive. We don't see it, but it's suggested. The cable car crashes through the station somehow. It's just like all these like absurd things happen to him. It's like
it's very 70s Superman movie humor. Like
it's like worse than like Michael Myers in Halloween. The guy can't die.
That's pretty bad too.
But at least in that movie, in that series, it's like scary. This is just like,
But we haven't talked about the best thing for Jaws.
He comes out of the rubble and there's that short little pigtailed girl.
He's in love. Isn't that sweet?
So I like the payoff at the end when he switches sides. That makes sense.
That's fine.
Because he doesn't really have any allegiance to Drax, and Drax doesn't consider him part of his master Nazi race. So I get that. And you could almost have Jaws have some kind of love interest that also fit that mold. I don't think it's needed. It could have been worked out right, but probably easier just to axe that completely.
Because honestly, I think she'd fit with the group. I mean, you take away that makeup, you take away the pigtails
and the glasses.
Yeah, you don't think she. Now I'm sexy.
We love people with glasses.
Yes, we do.
But yeah, it's just, I mean, she's not in it a lot, but she's not needed, and there are other things this movie needed in place of that love plot. I mean, I don't know.
At least we say goodbye to Jaws in a very touching way.
Here's to us. So we have we were talking about this before, the gondola comes up the road, and then they're like, oh, wait, this really cool shot of this pigeon, like, looking. They're great. Can we reverse it and have him look one more time? I'm like... And then we have the guy again drinking beer, looking at his beer, whatever, and that scene, there's, like, loud music, and it's so overblown, it's like... I mean, you can cut all those scenes that we just mentioned, and the movie would be, like, so much better already, but...
Still wouldn't be great, but it could be good.
On its way.
But you know what? The one joke I do appreciate is at the very end.
That's one of my favorites,
in a silly, weird, fun way, I can't help but laugh at it too. What does he say, Josh?
I think he's attempting reentry, sir. think that's one of Q's best lines ever.
Q has been the constant for me. I love Q every time I see him.
Corey, have you ever had intercourse in space?
I mean, Lord knows I haven't tried, but...
Or at least in zero gravity?
I'm down for anything once. Here's to us.
All right, so aside from the silliness, some great action sequences in this. I feel like we say that about every movie for the most part, except for like 2 of them.
We hope that there's good action sequences in every single one.
Sword fight's cool, different. Some good locales. Space is, whatever. It's space. It's fun. It's different.
But the lasers.
That it could have been a little better because you look at, like where Star Wars was 2 years before this. They could have upped their game a little bit. It's not bad, but it could have been better.
You get what they're going for, but the thing between Star Wars and James Bond at that time is that you have a sense of realism in James Bond to a degree, but in Star Wars, that is a space fantasy. That's allowed to do lasers and try these things, but not this. This is very this is like what I would do with Photoshop, like pew pew. That's what it comes off as, and yet Star Wars did it so well at the time. So
pew pew. Well, I like the boat chase, and I liked the fact that J.W. Pepper is not in this boat chase again, gone for good. Although it ends ridiculously with Jaws going off the waterfall and making that silly expression. And is he holding the wheel in that one? I forget. It all blurs together. But I'm thinking, all right, we have another boat chase. Why not bring the Lotus back? I don't know.
Yeah.
Go underwater or something. It's so underutilized.
Anyway.
But yeah, okay, let's talk a little bit about Holly Goodhead.
What is that joke? I don't get that joke. Can you explain that one to me?
Some of us have had it, and some of us have... Can we say that?
What? Good.
Listen,
I have a good head.
I know a guy. He's got a great head. The best head in the world. Okay. We're 13. But so were the producers of this series.
Clearly.
Yeah, so overall I think Holly's a fine Bond girl, but again, watching this right after Spy Who Loved Me, feels so flat and such a stinker. Underutilized. I know they don't want to do the exact same thing twice. They do have a nice back and forth a little bit. She doesn't really trust him, and she's this smart NASA woman.
She's not just some bimbo. She has she's a scientist. She's smart. So
and
I'm okay with that.
She kicks a little bit of ass in the cable car scene with Jaws. She's like a somebody. But I don't know. I just, especially as after the last movie, she just feels like I would say compared to Good Night and From Russia with Love, Tanya and who's the other one? Stacy from View to Kill, who were just oh, James, and hitting buttons with her butt. Holly's she's average.
I'll take average. At this point, it works.
All right. So overall, any closing remarks from the defense?
I'm the defense?
Yeah.
I can't defend this thing. There's no way. Look, I'll say it this way. I think you hit the nail on the head. This is a worse version of Spy Who Loved Me. I don't think this whole thing is bad. It's the same way I feel about Aquaman. Aquaman is, I don't think, it's a passable movie. Is there fun elements? Sure. But is it good? I don't think so. And where I fit Moonraker is kind of in the same realm. But I'll give it just that slightly a little bit more because I can admit I had some fun. So this is going to be my worst one, probably. 2 1/4.
2 1/4. I'm going to go 2.75 since I'm a fanboy. And, yeah.
Pansy.
Could certainly have been better. It's a bummer. Yeah. I still like it more than some of the campier ones and some of the worst ones in the last 20 years. So I'd put this in the bottom third, but towards the top. But that's just me.
It does make me wonder where A View to a Kill is going to be. Because I do remember watching View to a Kill and then...
a little lower, honestly. But
we'll see.
We'll see.